Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thank you. Welcome back. I am Monique. Welcome to Looking in the Mirror podcast. Waiting for my guest Shatina to come on so we can talk about multiple things. I'm just waiting for her to get in. I know she said she was trying to get in, but we're having some issues with the equipment. Okay, here she is.
All right.
It's about time. What in the world? I'm telling you, the devil just don't stop. Horrible. If you were here earlier, then you saw me come on and go off and come on and go off and come on and go off. You probably heard me talking to somebody in the background trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Technical
Oh my
difficulties, and
goodness.
the devil is what is going on, just trying to stop us from doing this. But we are here. So, welcome to Looking in the Mirror podcast. I am your
Yeah.
host, Monique Nolly, and I have the special guest, Shatina. And tell what is it that you do? I see that you have the female physicist.
Yes.
Can you explain
Okay.
what is that about?
Well, you know how we are. We always rebrand and upgrade and do better. So,
Hmm.
not only am I doing a little bit of tutoring, but I've moved to actually assisting teachers.
Hmm.
There's a lot of new teachers, they talk about the teacher shortage and all those things, but who is going to train the teachers when they get in there? Who is going
True.
to help them be able to do all that's necessary, take the notes, behavior,
Hmm.
grades, talk to those wonderful parents and the wonderful children.
Hmm.
So
That
I've
is
decided to do
true.
that.
That is
I've
very
also
true.
started a YouTube page, which
Hmm.
is it's just shorts right now, but it's female physicist. It's on YouTube, and I have
Hmm.
like kind of like mental wealth. It's not kind of mental health, self check, awareness for teachers.
That is very, very good. That is very similar to what I do. And we all, if you are an educator, then you know that you need all of the support that you can get because it is about mental health. It's all about that because you're taking in so many other people's energy on a daily basis. And that right there will bring you down. It will bring you
Exactly.
down. So, what we are doing, and what I also do, is of course the Looking in the Mirror podcast, where I talk about everything from being a woman of God, having faith, continuing on to do what it is that you were put on this earth to do, what it's like to be a single parent, what it is like dating out there in the world, in this particular world that we're in, and how to make money on the side and bring money in. And we had well, I'm not going to go there, but we had, I was telling you about my last encounter with Snakeskin. So that is just something. Oh yeah, that's it. Snakeskin. That is who he is. But we're not talking about that today. We're not talking about necessarily dating today. Today we are mainly talking about what the challenges of being a single parent in today's day and age, where so many people are um, I'll just say confused, and I mean confused in various ways, not knowing what they want to do in life, not knowing who they are. Tell us how, because like myself, I have a daughter, you have a daughter. What are some ways that you are trying to be the best mother that you can be and make sure that she's able to see past all of the nonsense that's out there and all of the things that are out there, especially now that we have TikTok going on? That right there is just the devil's playground to me. So what is it? What is something that you can do, that you do, especially when it comes to work and balancing being a mother and working, and as educators, being in that field in any form of education is extremely stressful. But when you come home and you have your own child that you're dealing with, how do you navigate that?
That is a very loaded question, but it's a good one. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter, she's a junior in high school now. But I remember she was younger. My main thing was I don't want her to have any social media. Like I
Mm.
know children
Mm-hmm.
need to be on a computer. They need to be computer literate. They need
Mm-hmm.
whoop-de-woo and whatever. I said no, because number one, it's
Mm-hmm.
just me. Who was going to be watching them?
Mm-hmm.
Children have to be monitored, and I'm not going to create something that I can't control. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to bring drama into my house, and then I have to diffuse the drama and go through all these things. Like she's not looking at anything inappropriate because she's looking at the books that I already gave her. She
Mm-hmm.
has crayons, she has pencils, she's drawing. Whatever I had, and oh my gosh, this is so funny. I didn't have cable. Whatever channel showed up on the
Oh, you
television,
don't? Or you didn't?
I didn't. I didn't because it
Okay.
was just too expensive. This is a single
Mm-hmm.
mom
Yeah.
life. Okay, we're gonna eat or we're gonna have cable. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna eat. Cable was crazy.
Yeah.
So I had the digital rabbit ears. It's not rabbit ears anymore. If
Yes.
somebody
Mm-hmm.
remembered, I'm telling on myself if you know what that is. But
Mm-hmm.
they had the digital box that you connect to the TV, and we had maybe like four or five channels. One channel was called Cubo. I love them. Shout out to Cubo.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff all day, all night. And it was just educational things. So whatever she watched was on there, and that was it. I am not gonna be monitoring the phone. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
paying an extra phone bill. I'm not going to have to, oh, don't have this app, have this
Mm-hmm.
app, have this app. I already have to work at school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to work at home that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then oh, my friend saw this at school and they saw that and they watched this. She couldn't watch it because our TV only had so many channels.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to pretend like I didn't unplug the TV and act like it was broken for a few months.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now that she's older, I'm sure she understands. But when they were younger, of course, we could get away with saying stuff like that. And you
Hey,
really
if
don't
she
know.
figured out how to fix it, I give you credit. Oh, you fixed it. But
Mm-hmm.
then the beauty of that is it got to where we don't have to be tied to the TV when we come home. We have to come home
Mm-hmm.
and turn on this TV and sit in front of it and be a slave to whatever
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to show us, whatever's going through that eye gate, that ear gate, because I tell
Yeah.
you, commercials are a trip.
They are, and kids don't
Commercials are a
realize
lot.
what they do. Even adults do the same thing. They don't realize
Yeah.
what it is that they're watching and what it is that they are allowing into their mind and their heart. And they don't realize it. I do notice that a lot of kids though, and how do you navigate this? Because I guess as a single mother, there has to be a realm of trust. You have to have this trust. Because
Hmm.
when she does go to school, and I can tell you firsthand how you can tell the kids that don't either their parents don't have the electronics at home because they're
Hmm.
literally trying to break their necks to get the information their friend from their friend, next, sitting in the chair next to them. They're hooked
Hmm.
and they're stuck on that phone looking at things that they have no business doing. But that is where we come in as the educators and we have to pull them away and get them back into what they need, which is the education. So how do you, because you can't be with her 24/7, how do you navigate? Are you watching something you shouldn't be watching when you're not at home?
Well, my thing is that I went to the back in the day where you can't close a door in this house
Mm-hmm.
unless it's your house. So
Mm-hmm.
since it's my house, all the doors have to stay open. And
Mm-hmm.
there's only so much you're gonna do with the door open.
Yeah, that's true.
And then like there were no headphones
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't believe what do you need headphones for? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have it too loud and then I have to pay for a hearing aid. Like this is what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
No headphones. Just turn up
Mm-hmm.
and watch it. And then whatever you're gonna watch, we can watch it together. I don't care if it's baby stuff, I'll watch it with you. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah.
didn't tell her the baby stuff part, but we
Mm-hmm.
watch it together. I
Mm-hmm.
let her pick the movies. I let her pick what we watched on television. Most of the entertainment because I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I let her pick
Yeah.
it. We cook dinner, and that's what it is. I had a
Mm-hmm.
really super awesome babysitter who didn't let them watch that much television, and if they did, she had
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all remember the VHS tapes with this is
Yes.
the letter A, this
Mm-hmm.
is the letter B. It was a
Yeah.
tape for every letter in the alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when she got to a certain age, the babysitter had her pretending to be at school while she was there. So there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
structure.
Yeah.
I, the big thing was tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you will
Mm-hmm.
not get in trouble like you
Yep.
should.
Mm-hmm.
If I get the truth first, it's okay. But if
Yeah.
I find out the truth from somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to learn a prayer language, baby, because it's coming. It's
And
coming.
that is where the problem comes
And
in.
and you're not going to like it.
Lying.
You're
because
not going to
you
like
can't,
it.
one lie, if you have one lie, then you have another one, and you have to build on top of that and
Oh,
build on top of that and build on
and
top of that. Just don't do it.
don't
Just
believe in
don't.
secrets. There are no
Mm-mm.
secrets.
None. I don't
I don't
believe in
have
them at
secrets from
all.
you. You can ask me anything and I will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even like, what did they ask about? Tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, well, where's my dad? I was like, baby, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth. I'm not making up a story for somebody who made up a story for me.
That is true.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
perpetuate that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the phone number. Call her.
Mm-hmm.
When she wanted to
Yeah.
call him whenever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And you can talk about whatever you want because this is me being a tiny bit petty. He not that deep, child. Whatever y'all talk about, it's not
Yeah.
gonna go that far.
It's not.
Because he
It's
didn't know you
not.
were calling. You got that little 5 minutes. She's happy.
Mm-hmm.
She talked to him. He felt
Mm-hmm.
like he done did something.
And you know what?
Okay.
I think that's where
Call him.
my problem came in as a single parent because I was taking on both roles, which you technically cannot do. I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to be both the mother and the father to the point to where I wore myself out physically as well as emotionally. I
Mm-hmm.
was when she would have a recital or something, if he didn't show up, I would pretend like he showed up. He was in the
Yeah.
back. He was in the back of the audience. He had to go to work early. Those were the type of things I was literally running around. I would go buy flowers, buy flowers and have them for her because I didn't want to see her disappointed. I
Mm-hmm.
did not want her disappointed. And I don't regret it
Mm-hmm.
because I would do anything for my child. To this day, I'll do anything for my child. So I don't regret it, but it did take a lot of energy having to come up with
Mm-hmm.
ways to make sure that she wasn't hurt, coming up with ways to shield her. And
Mm-hmm.
that at the end of the day, that was just a lesson for me because I had to realize, okay, no matter what I do, and
Mm-hmm.
this is, we only have so much time in this particular one, but no matter in this particular show, it'll have to be another one. But no matter what I do, um, I can only shield her from so much. And that is
Mm-hmm.
something that I had to learn. I had to learn. And I will say the hardest thing about being a mother is learning to let go and give your child to God. That is the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do. I had to realize no matter how much I shield her, somehow she's gonna get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to be there for her when that does happen. And so
Right.
that's one of my biggest lessons, even when it comes to bringing other people in our lives, because it's not just my life, it's her life.
Right.
Bringing people into our lives, shielding her from certain people. I can only protect her so much because I can't control other people's actions.
Right. Like I a system or have you acknowledge and create a system where when something happens,
Mm-hmm.
you know you can always speak up. I don't want you to ever feel like you need to be quiet or ashamed. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care what it is. You failed the test. Just tell me you failed the test. Because
Yes.
I even think
Mm-hmm.
about those movies and you watch them like, this is so stupid. Why did she do that? But
Mm-hmm.
when people are in those situations, oh, I can't tell my mom, I should be disappointed. And they come up with an
Yeah.
elaborate scheme and they hurt themselves because
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to tell the truth. You
Yeah.
failed the test? Fine. Just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me know because I don't want anything to be an imaginary barrier that becomes an
Yeah.
actual barrier to our
Mm-hmm.
communication.
Yeah.
And my thing is that, like, I named my daughter Veronica because it means
Mm-hmm.
true image. And I'll be honest, it
I
was petty
love
because
that.
he lied all the time. So I was like, this baby ain't gonna be no liar. So what word mean truth? And I was like, oh, Veronica, okay. Like, we gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I picked that name. And
Mm-hmm.
with that, it was like, so when I say her name, I remember why I named her that. And I
Mm-hmm.
want her to value truth.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what is the truth? The truth is you are here. No one can deny that you got here. You didn't get here by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It takes two. Even though some days we just be like, I wish I never did it. But
Mm-hmm.
not because of the child, but because of the drama
Yeah.
that came from the other
The
parts.
drama that came from the other person and not
Yeah.
being able, them not understanding
Mm-hmm.
the seriousness of this little life that you brought into the world. The fact that it doesn't matter what's
Right.
going on. It's no longer about you. It's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you don't feel good. It doesn't matter if you're sick. None of that matters. You have to be here for this kid. So, how do
Mhm.
you handle societal perceptions or stereotypes about being a single mother? Because there are still a lot of stereotypes out there about being a single mother. There are some stereotypes about how your child may be because your child
Mhm.
comes from a single household, a single parent household.
Okay, we're gonna be fake deep. You mean the word curses they try to put
Yes.
on us
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because you're not married? Like, oh, we rebuke all of
Mm-hmm.
that. Rebuke it, rebuke it. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I try to be as transparent as I can be with my daughter on an
Mm-hmm.
age appropriate level.
Yeah.
So if mommy has a boyfriend or if mommy doesn't, I'm not hiding it
Mm-hmm.
because I'll be honest, nothing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you know kids always peek around the corner to see, come on to peek,
Yeah.
nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
What's this? What's that? Look in there, look. There's nothing in there.
Mm-hmm.
And after trying to find stuff so much, because you know they go to a cousin or auntie house, who
Mm-hmm.
knows what happens at your family's house, but in my house, nothing is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, Mom, why don't you? It's like she brought me the questions and I just answered
Yeah.
as truthfully
Mm-hmm.
and age appropriate as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I'm telling my whole honesty is the best policy because I'm not trying to remember all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to remember what I told you. I don't know what happened. What, when, who, I don't know. But what is the
Mm-hmm.
truth? It will always be the same answer. So I stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
And do you really want to have a different dad every week? Some different guy coming here
Exactly.
eating up all our food?
Mm-hmm. You
Me and
know what
God was
I
so much
did?
food. I bought one
This
pack of bacon. He
that
done
is
ate
true.
all the bacon.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
Look,
When
it's
it
so
comes to
bad. I
that,
was getting the bacon. Look, I cut the bacon
mm-hmm.
in half before we cook it. So that doubled the bacon. We doing stuff like that. Like, oh, you want three
Yeah.
pieces of bacon? It's
Mm-hmm.
really two. But it looked like four. Ooh. So you somebody show
That
up
is
eating up all
good.
the food. Then you gone
Mm-hmm.
for 2 weeks. Oh, you came just in time for me to buy some more groceries.
And then here comes someone else. And you don't, when you have
Right.
daughters, you have to be careful. I know one thing that I did was, well, I have 2 degrees, so I was technically always in school, but my daughter really did think I was always in school. She never saw anybody. She was like, you don't, in her teenagers, she was like, you don't date or
Mhm.
anything. Technically, no, I went to 10 years without dating anybody or anything because my sole focus
Mhm.
was her, raising her, and
Who do I
making
trust?
sure
Like, do I trust
exactly.
somebody around her?
I don't. I didn't trust anybody around her, so I just
You're
chose
not
to
gonna
just
pick her
let
up. You're
that
not gonna
go.
drop her
You're
off.
not doing nothing. I don't even trust our own
Mm.
daddy to do things. Like, no, I'll do it. Seriously, I'll do it. You do it for what? No, because you're not gonna do it right. I'll do it. I will do it. Even the big conversations, I will have the conversations because, forgive me, I'm not trying to be funny, but you're gonna say something stupid. And
Well, the
I
other
was
thing is
right every
when
time.
you have the conversation first and then they have it, they come back, he said such and such, what is that?
Yes, that has happened too many
And
times
I'll be
where
like,
she's
baby,
come
what is
back
it?
like, and once you don't have to say anything negative because once they come into their own, once they have their own, they're intelligent enough, they will see it themselves. And when she came to me and she was like, he said this and that didn't make any sense. You really don't have to tell them anything. They can figure it out on their own. They can figure
I
it out.
remember I was in college. It was around the time when I was pregnant with my daughter. Sometime around there, I don't know, it's like a blur because she's, I don't know, 17 now. Back then, one of my guy
Mm-hmm.
friends, he was confident. He was like, look, you don't have to worry as much as you think you have to worry about your daughter because he said,
Mm-hmm.
kids know who's taking care of them because he was
They
going,
do.
kids know who take care of them. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to lie to kids. You don't have to tell nothing because they'll be like, he never here. You always here. They will
Mm-hmm.
know. You don't have to make up a story. You don't have to say anything. He said, kids are not stupid like people think they are.
Mm-hmm.
They know who's been doing it. My sister, she has 3 babies, bless her heart. She's
Mm-hmm.
married, and I think it's 135-246, some kind of number like that. But
Mm-hmm.
he went on a trip and came back. And it's the one thing I laugh at. When the dad came in the door, while the baby picked up the pamper and the stuff and walked over to him, was like, hey, you do it. And that I think back to that because it's like kids know, okay, mom been doing this all the time. It's your turn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they feel that way, like, okay, I'm always with mommy. When am I gonna spend time with dad? And then they get around them and it's like they thought it was gonna be like when they were with me. No, you with somebody different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I actually enjoy that. So now when you go off other places, you realize everybody's not wonderful and awesome like your mom. There's
That is
other
true.
people. No,
That
there's
is
other
true,
people out there.
though. Nobody loves you like your mama do. Nobody does, and that is the truth. I mean,
Mm-mm.
it is the truth, and it's not easy. And being a single mother, period, is not easy. But especially when you have a daughter, because you don't want them to have to go through certain things that you have gone through. And like you said earlier, communication and honesty is key. You have to be honest. You have to communicate, even if regardless of the outcome, as long as
Whether
it's
you
it's
want to or
honest.
not.
Exactly. The hard conversations don't have to be hard. If you're honest from day one, those conversations won't be hard. They won't.
Right.
They really won't. You can sit down and tell each other everything. And my mother always says, "Well, you can't tell her necessarily everything." I tell her everything.
Yes, you
Why
can.
not? I mean, I think that depending on the mentality of the kid, because you can't treat every kid the same. They're all different. If you have siblings, you know that. Every
Mhm.
sibling is different. So depending on the mentality of the kid, they can handle whatever you throw at them. Because
But
a
let's be
lot of them,
honest.
they just want the truth.
You said TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's not on TikTok? Talking about you can't tell them. What is not on there?
Exactly. Exactly.
And let's go back before TikTok. Google. You could
Mm-hmm.
type angel into Google and press enter, and trust and believe some of those pictures that pop up are not angelic.
Mm-hmm. That is the
You could
truth.
type zebra into Google, and sometimes even in my classroom, I
Mm-hmm.
type stuff like, please don't let some of the other pictures show. I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
science, weathering, erosion.
Mm-hmm.
Please just show me some science pictures. I feel like you throw the dice when you press enter sometimes.
Yeah.
Who knows what image is going to pop up? And
Mm-hmm.
then YouTube. I'm
Oh,
going to
yes.
YouTube to
Yes.
show a video about what's the science thing? Inertia.
Mm-hmm.
And then the commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I have to keep it on mute until my real video goes because what are they going to say?
Exactly.
The commercials.
Exactly.
It's not like how it used to be when we were growing up. They always want to shelter us and not tell
Mm-hmm.
this because they're a
Mm-hmm.
child. And then you get to an age and you don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who telling you are not the people who should be telling you anything.
Exactly. Or they'll sneak and find out.
And then it's not even sneaking.
They'll
They
sneak
come
and
to you.
find out.
Kids come to you with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know about this? You know about this? It's like the kid with the worst
Mm-hmm.
attitude, trying to find a good word,
Mm-hmm.
wants to share with everybody.
Everybody.
The kid who knows I'm be holy, the most lascivious dance.
Mm-hmm.
They want to teach everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is how you do it. No, you gotta move your arm. They
Mm-hmm.
now and then I'm telling my daughter everything.
Just go ahead
Anything
and
like
just say what I
if
said.
it
They
pop
just
up
just
in
want to
my
infect
mind,
everybody.
because I'm like, if it pops up in your mind and you
Mm-hmm.
think you should talk to them about it, talk to them about it. Period.
Yes. And let
I
that be
should
that.
should I talk about this? That's your hint. It's time to talk to
Mm-hmm.
them about it
Mm-hmm.
because then you will be first. Because I've realized whoever talks to someone about it first somehow by default becomes the authority. So if
Mm-hmm.
your
That is
friend
true.
talked to you about it first,
Mm-hmm.
you feel like your friend's the authority. Well, they said something first.
Mm-hmm. And that is so true. They automatically assume that person knows more just because they brought it up first or because they spoke about the subject first. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean that they know anything. In fact, they know if they're your age, I'm sure they don't really know the facts behind it. You're only getting part of the information.
They
You're only
watched
getting
the
part of the
video.
information. Mm-hmm.
They watched the video. They didn't
Yeah.
live the life.
Mm-hmm. And there you go. Therefore, they think they know all of it, and that is not the case.
Mm.
So, what I want to ask you is what is the most important lesson that you have learned as a single mother?
Okay, I was not ready for that. um, the and I think I'm learning it now that she's older because she's telling me, but being authentic,
Mm-hmm.
like my personality, how I respond to things, how I do whatever is important.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
It
reason
is.
why
Mm-hmm.
that child is your child and nobody
Mm-hmm.
else's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to turn into, I'm gonna say Betty Crocker for those who don't know. She's making cupcakes. I don't need to turn into Betty Crocker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to turn into any kind of superhuman anybody else. I need to be fully authentic and transparent
Mm-hmm.
about what I've gone through and why I've made decisions that I've made. Because I'll even tell
Mm-hmm.
her why. Now that she's older, I'll
Yeah.
tell her why. Now, when you're little, I said so.
Mm-hmm.
But the why and the reasoning behind it, because your children are related to you.
Mm-hmm. They
The
are.
personality, even their personality is different. There's layers
Mm-hmm.
to personality. Part of that
Mm-hmm.
is in them, no matter what. So be fully authentic and
Mm-hmm.
present if you can. If you're
Mm-hmm.
sleepy, don't do it. Get some rest.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Because if
That
they
is
want to have a heart to
absolutely
heart
true.
and you fall asleep, their little feelings are super hurt. Because I
Mm-hmm.
said, baby, I know you really want to talk to me. I
Mm-hmm.
know you do, and I want you to, but I need to go to sleep
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to sleep right now while you're talking to me. And I don't want you to think I'm being rude. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm nodding off while you're talking to me, like full nod.
Yeah.
I promise that I will talk to you about this as soon as I wake up. We could
Yeah.
talk about it in the morning. But and
Mm-hmm.
just doing that, someone's like, oh, you fell asleep on me. No, I let you know I
Yeah.
was tired. I'm not going to pretend
Mm-hmm.
like I don't ever get tired.
Yeah. Because then that's another lesson you have to learn to be human. I think with me, I got to a point to where I was she actually told me it's like in her eyes I was not human because I was constantly on the go. I was constantly I was always happy. She never saw me cry. She never saw me down.
And you
Not
always be
until
looking
recent.
good too now. And be looking good. And be
I
looking
try
good
to. I
too.
try
Okay,
to.
try.
I,
Look.
to
I
set
see
that
some mamas and I'll be
example.
like, come on, I got you.
Thank
I will
you.
watch them for four
Hmm.
hours. We just going to the park. I'll watch them for
Hmm.
4 hours. You get a nap.
Hmm. Yeah, with me, I always tried to put on and I wasn't even doing it on purpose. I just
That's
wanted to
who
be
you
a
are.
good
You
role
fabulous.
model. I just wanted to be a good role model. But I didn't
Yes.
realize that the one of the effects of that was her thinking, okay, mama's not really human. She, she can do anything. She's always this. She's always like, no, that is only until recently has she really seen me down. And she's basically an adult now, but only I would say the last couple of years has she seen me down and her has she really seen that part of me. Aside from that, she never saw it. I never wanted her to see it, and
Hmm.
I guess that was on my part. That wasn't realistic. That wasn't setting a realistic goal for her because I am a human. I am a
Hmm.
woman. A woman. I have emotions. Yes, I do cry. She never saw me cry until I think what last year and
Hmm.
she may saw a see a teardrop, but that was she never saw me cry. I was always, the
Hmm.
strong, no matter what. Even when I was going through cancer, I did not want her to see me down. And I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous to say, okay,
No, no, it
when you're going
doesn't.
through cancer, you don't want that. I did not want her to see me down, but I realized that that was not setting a realistic expectation for her as to
Hmm.
what being a woman is, what being a
Hmm.
mother is, that just wasn't realistic. But again, I didn't necessarily even realize I was doing it until she pointed it out. When she pointed it out, that's when I said, oh my God, I had
Hmm.
no idea that I was
God,
doing
I got a
that.
water.
Oh, you're
I'm like, where
fine.
did look? What? No, where did I put my water? I'm looking. I was like, what is, I'm trying to look down.
I understand. But I was like, I had no idea until it was pointed out to me that I'll tell you one particular time, and then we're gonna have to close this session. We'll have to pick this up next time. But one particular time when she graduated high school, and she was really trying to figure out what she wanted to do, and she just had this anxiety, and she just started crying. I'm like, what are you crying for? And she said that I can't do what you do. You have 2 degrees. You were magna cum laude, straight A's. I said, honey, that was me. You
Right.
can't compare yourself to that was just me. That's
Hmm.
just what I did. You
Hmm.
can't you can't go through life trying to compare yourself to something that I did because that's not realistic. That was me that wanted to get 2 degrees. That was me that was constantly, in school and I didn't get enough. I had to go back. That was me that was doing all of that. That was me that had to be magna cum laude. You are you. Just like I tell her, everybody is different. Even identical twins have their own set of fingerprints.
Yes, they do.
Nobody is the same. So you can't compare yourself in that area. You are you. What is it that you want to do? And even at this particular time in life, between the ages of what, 13 and 24, they have no clue what they want to do. They're trying to figure themselves out. I told her it's okay if you change your major two, three,
Yeah.
or four times. That is perfectly fine because you don't
Mhm.
know. You're navigating the waters trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. At my age, I'm still going through the different things that I want to do. Hello, that's why I'm also an entrepreneur. It doesn't end. You just learn to take it, you just learn to carry it differently. You learn to be able to carry it with dignity and not just have an anxiety attack over it. Which you have a girl, so you know that's all they do is have anxiety attacks because everything is dramatic and everything is the end of the world. That's just it's the truth. Everything is the end of the world, and it don't be nothing happen, but everything is the end of the world to them. As you grow, you just learn to take it in stride. You just learn to carry it differently. But that doesn't mean I had to tell her yesterday, I still have anxiety. You just don't know it.
Right.
My mama may know it. And what's funny is my mama know it, but she don't know it. I'm hiding it from her, and I'm sure my mama's hiding her anxiety from me. It's funny how
Right.
that it's just that it's a domino effect. You try to shield your child, no matter how old they are. You try to
Mhm.
shield them. And so, no matter what, we are human. We are all going through this together. As you grow older, you'll learn to be able to handle it differently and deal with it
Mhm.
differently. But part of being on this earth is being able to evolve and grow.
Right.
So it's a constant thing. It's not
Mhm.
one thing. You figure out, oh, this is me. That's it. That's the end of it. And you go on to, to be with the Lord. It's not like that. You're constantly evolving. You're constantly changing. That's part of being on this earth. And I think that's a very, once you get that across to your child, that will just put them at ease in a lot of areas.
Yes.
It will put them at ease because they have a lot of anxiety at this age. I had a kid yesterday who just complete meltdown,
Mhm.
but nothing. A complete meltdown. Well, in my eyes, it wasn't nothing. Let me change that. To them, it was
Yes.
everything.
Everything.
Okay. Let me
It'll
change
never be the same.
that. To them, it was everything. But because I've lived and I learned, I know that they will be able to look back on that and be like, why was I having basically about to pass out over that, over something
Mhm.
that was that minimal, something that small.
Yeah.
But that's just something that you learn with age.
While
That's
you were
just something.
talking,
Mm-hmm.
um, what you said reminded me of when I had my daughter, and everybody was trying to, like, oh, she's gonna be just like you. She's gonna
Mm-hmm.
do this, and I stopped people from the beginning. No, she is not me.
Mm-hmm.
She is who she is. Like, she is Veronica. Okay. I am
Mm-hmm.
Shatina. We are not the same person. And I
Mm-hmm.
always make sure I reestablish that. I don't let anybody in my family, because you know the whole, well, your mom was a single mom. She's not me.
Yeah, exactly. Stop speaking
And
word
and then
curses. Like we said,
and
the
then I'd be
living
like,
word
guess
curse.
what?
Don't do that.
Oh my God. She has different parents. How
Mm-hmm.
about that? No. I don't
Mm-hmm.
let anybody, well, your mom, because I love my little math and science and all those things,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't impose that on anybody because everyone's unique. She's into the
Mm-hmm.
arts and filmmaking, acting. Good. That is her,
Mm-hmm.
because we are not the same person. And I feel like sometimes they try to make everyone be the same person.
They
Well,
do.
your mom is a teacher, so you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be a teacher, and your kids will be teachers. And if you have a son,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he could be a principal. No,
Mm-hmm.
you have to follow your path. I'm here
Mm-hmm.
to the whole support you as you go,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't help you on everything because some of this path is yours.
Yes, that is exactly right. And one thing
But
I
you're your
make sure
own
not to
person.
do, you're your own person. Do not compare. I don't compare her to her father. I don't compare her to,
No,
don't do that. Don't do that. That's a
no,
problem for me because
never.
it's like you're speaking it. And I know some people are like, you can't speak things into existence. Yes, you can.
You're
Yes, you
doing it
can.
right now.
It's like, you can't do that.
Hmm.
Let them figure out they are their own. Like I said, everybody has their own set of fingerprints, even
Yeah,
identical twins. They are their own
yeah.
person. Let them figure it out. And I don't think a lot of people realize that a lot of times the reason your kids turn out the way they are is because you kept telling them that's how they were going to turn out.
You just like your aunt.
You've been saying it since
You're
they were two.
just
What you
like your
expect?
uncle.
Since they were two, you've been telling them how they're going to be. So
Mhm.
why are you surprised when they're that way?
Exactly.
I don't
Look,
understand
so if I'm a
it.
billionaire, what are you? Oh, I'm a trillionaire. Okay, let's speak that stuff.
Yes, let's speak that. Well, that is
Good.
all for this episode of Looking in the Mirror. And on this
Yeah,
podcast, what I like to do is it's called, of course, Looking in the Mirror. So when you have a daughter, you are somewhat looking in the mirror because you're looking at a younger version of yourself. So if you are looking in the mirror, whether you're looking in the actual mirror or you're looking at your daughter, what would you tell your daughter? And what would you say to yourself looking at your younger self about any life experiences?
I would tell, let's see, my younger self, stay authentic. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to have what you think everybody else has to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You already have what you need. You're already following the right path. Stop looking to what they're doing. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
What you were thinking was the right thing to do is the right thing. Keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that
love
is what I
that.
tell my daughter. Like, the idea, oh, I really want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Do it.
And don't pick that and be like, well, what are you gonna do? See, you turn
Mm-hmm.
to the left. You don't know. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna keep moving.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Well, thank you for joining this episode of Looking in the Mirror. I am your host, Monique Nolly. Thank you, Shatina, and you are the female physicist.
Yes, I am.
And is your YouTube channel the same, the female physicist? Is that the same?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tune in to her YouTube channel, follow her. I have known her for a couple of years now. She is wonderful.
Yeah,
She knows what she's doing, whether it's inside the classroom or outside the classroom. She has her thing going as a single mother and as just an entrepreneur and a working woman in today's day and age. She is
yeah,
doing it. We can do it together. We have to stick together. We have to have a united front as women, and that's a whole nother show about how Black women are pitted against one another. We out of time
exactly.
for this one, so I'm gonna have to move that one to another one. But that is another segment for another show. Thank you for joining us. Everybody have a blessed weekend. See you next time.